You ever see somebody glow up so hard it feels like a full-on TV plot twist? Like the kind of twist where you gotta pause the show and rewind just to make sure you didn't miss a scene? That's exactly what's happening with Melody Shari right now. This ain't just a comeback, this is a reset, a whole new chapter, a brand new blueprint. And what she's doing is bigger than just getting back on TV. Melody has officially entered her mogul era. When Melody stepped away from Love, Marriage, Huntsville, a lot of people assumed that was it. You know how it goes. Reality stars come and go, the spotlight moves on, and the audience shifts their attention to the next storyline. But Melody wasn't about to fade into the background. While folks were out here speculating that she disappeared, she was actually stacking her power moves behind the scenes. And now? She just hit the culture with the biggest Uno reverse card we've seen in reality TV in a long time. Because Melody didn't just come back to TV. She didn't just land another role, sign another deal, or beg somebody for a seat at the table. Nah, she built the table, the chairs, the screen, the camera, and the whole damn network vibe. Her brand new reality series, The Child Care Cartel, isn't just another show to fill a time slot. And it's definitely not about what the title makes you first think: diapers, nap time, juice boxes, and tantrums. No, this is a show about legacy, about women who are building empires, stacking generational wealth, and creating opportunities for their families, all while balancing the chaos of everyday life. It's women hustling, struggling, celebrating, surviving, and thriving in ways that hit way deeper than the typical reality TV formula. But here's where Melody flipped the script completely. She's not just starring in the show, she's producing it. The Child Care Cartel is launching under her own company, Tilted Crown Productions. And that changes everything. Because now Melody controls the narrative, the contracts, the footage, the licensing, and ultimately the profit. She's not just playing the game, she's owning it. When the news dropped about the Child Care Cartel, the internet erupted. Fans were caught off guard in the best way possible. Think pieces started popping up on Instagram, TikToks breaking down the layers of her strategy, YouTube channels analyzing every move she made, Twitter timelines lit up with one-liners, like the fan who said, "Melody got a new show, a production company, and still that own bag. That's how you boss TF up." And honestly, where's the lie? Because while some people were sitting around wondering if Melody was going to crawl back to OWN for another role, she was busy building an empire that no one saw coming. And instead of waiting for someone to validate her or hand her another opportunity, she created her own. She turned her exit into an entrance. That's not just resilience, that's chess. That's generational strategy. Now let's talk about Cartel Code Live. Atlanta, July 23rd. And let me be clear, this wasn't your average red carpet premiere. This wasn't about paparazzi snapping photos, cast members doing quick sound bites, or champagne flutes clinking in the background. Melody designed this event to be something much bigger. This was a high-powered, pastel-coated summit disguised as a launch party. Attendees weren't just there to watch a screening. They were stepping into a space that felt like soft glam meets sharp minds. You had cast meet and greets, behind-the-scenes exclusives, live panels, strategy sessions, and Q, as with producers. And everywhere you looked, women were dressed like success, polished, glowing, and walking with purpose. Fans flew in from all over the country. Within 48 hours of tickets going on sale, the event was nearly sold out. And people who went described it not as a networking mixer, but as a cultural reset. It was Melody saying, "This isn't just a TV show. This is a movement. This is an ecosystem. This is a platform." And the streets? Oh, they've been loud ever since. One fan posted on Instagram, "We showed up for the premiere and walked away with a playbook." Another person on Twitter called it the Beyoncé drop of reality TV. No teasers, no dragged-out marketing campaign, just impact, quiet build-up, then booms center stage. But let's be real. Whenever a glow-up gets this loud, the past always has a way of creeping back in. And in Melody's case, that past comes with a name: Martell Holt. Now, Martell has been, let's just say, real poetic on Instagram lately. Subtle jabs here, cryptic captions there, posting moody R&B tracks like he's the lead singer of a 90s heartbreak group. Lines like, "Sometimes what you let go of is what you needed most." And people immediately clocked it for what it was: shots fired at Melody. Fans have been speculating that Martell is spiraling now that Melody is building her own kingdom without him. Word on the street is, he assumed she'd fizzle out after leaving Love, Marriage, Huntsville. He probably thought the spotlight would dim, that she'd eventually circle back. Instead, Melody took that exit and turned it into an empire. And the irony? While Martell's timeline is full of nostalgia and passive-aggressive energy, Melody isn't even looking back. She's not subtweeting. She's not clapping back. She's not reposting cryptic memes. She's too busy building. And that silence? That's the loudest flex of all. Because when a woman stops explaining herself and just moves, you know it's a wrap. Now let's get into what makes the childcare cartel so powerful. Because this is not your average mom boss reality series. It's not surface-level storylines about balancing carpool and conference calls. Melody made sure it digs much deeper. According to insiders who've already seen early cuts, this show is raw, unfiltered, and emotional in ways that most networks don't dare to show. We're talking businesses collapsing mid-season, longtime friends turning on each other, women confessing things they've never admitted on camera before. There's even a scene that's already got producers shook. One cast member breaks down in tears after discovering that her supposed best friend was secretly plotting to steal her entire client list. And it's not just the drama that hits. The emotional side of this show is heavy. One single mom reveals she used to sleep inside her daycare center with her kids, just to keep the doors open. Another confesses she was on food stamps when she opened her first location, and now she's mentoring women who are just starting their businesses. These aren't sob stories. They're survival stories. They're about women clawing their way out of impossible situations and refusing to give up. What makes it even more refreshing is that Melody chose women who aren't the usual B-list influencers or recycled reality stars. These are everyday women who turned their living rooms into daycare chains, who built million-dollar empires from scratch, who risked everything just to provide for their families. That authenticity, that's what's going to separate the childcare cartel from every other reality show out there. And while everyone's hyped about the childcare cartel, the bigger story here is Tilted Crown Productions. Because this isn't some vanity project. Melody isn't just slapping her name on a production company for the clout. She's building a machine. Behind the scenes, sources say she's already developing 2 more unscripted series. One of them focuses on life after divorce, the emotional, financial, and spiritual rebuilding women go through when they're forced to start over. Sound familiar? Exactly. Melody's not just creating content, she's creating therapy in motion, wrapped in entertainment. Another concept being pitched is a mentorship docuseries, pairing established businesswomen with entrepreneurs trying to find their footing. This is bigger than one show. This is about ownership. While networks were busy running their plays, Melody was studying the contracts, the licensing rights, the production logistics. She learned the game from the inside out, and now she's flipping it in her favor. She's not surviving TV anymore. She's owning it. And that's why so many people are calling this move a cultural reset, not just a career comeback. But let's keep it real. Not everybody is happy about Melody winning like this. Word on the street is that some execs at OWN weren't exactly thrilled to see her new show get greenlit without their fingerprints on it. Rumors suggest they assumed she'd eventually come back to them, maybe pitch something through their channels, maybe even give them first dibs. But Melody proved she doesn't need to circle back to anybody. However, Melody isn't just starring in this new project. She's producing it under her very own production company, Tilted Crown Productions. She's not doing this alone either. Standing right beside her is her trusted manager, Don Michelle, helping her bring this ambitious vision to life. Together, they're proving that Melody is no longer waiting for a seat at someone else's table. Instead, she's building her own table, setting it, and inviting who she wants to sit with her. That's the kind of power move we love to see. And of course, a move this big deserves a proper launch. The premiere event for the Child Care Cartel isn't just another press party or media rollout. No, ma'am. Melody is calling this event Cartel Code Live, and it's set to go down in Atlanta on July 23rd. But don't get it twisted, this ain't your typical promo party with a step-and-repeat backdrop and a few cocktails. This is being billed as a high-powered, pastel-wearing, woman-centered experience. Think of it as a fusion of strategy, sisterhood, and straight-up boss energy, all in one room. Attendees aren't just showing up for a quick handshake or a photo op. They're being promised exclusive cast meet and greets, sneak peeks behind the scenes of the show, and intimate moments where strategy and empowerment collide. This is not just entertainment, it's culture, it's business, it's a reset. And from the way tickets have been selling, it's clear people are ready for it. The girls are already ironing their pastel fits, planning their looks, and booking their travel because they know this is about to be a historic night. The energy leading up to this premiere feels less like a typical TV launch and more like a cultural revolution brewing right before our eyes. Now, here's where we really need to slow down and sip the tea. Because while a lot of folks were quick to assume Melody was fading into the background, after stepping away from Love, Marriage, Huntsville, she was actually moving in silence, cooking up her next Empire-level project. She wasn't posting every detail, she wasn't clapping back at every rumor, and she definitely wasn't wasting her time trying to prove her worth to people who doubted her. Instead, she was stacking her wins, putting together her team, and planning this exact rollout. And when the time was right, she let the world know. Melody even said it herself in her own words, "This isn't a conference. This is a cultural reset." And when she said that, I felt that deep in my spirit. Because she's right. This isn't just about another reality show. This is about taking control of the narrative, owning your image, and carving out a legacy that doesn't depend on anybody else's approval. Period. And let me tell you, fans did not hold back in their reactions. Instagram was on fire. Twitter threads turned into novels. TikToks were stitched and remixed within hours. One user tweeted, "Melody Shari got a production company, a new show, and she still gets own checks. That's how you boss TF up." Another chimed in with the ultimate mic drop. "Sis really out here doing what Martell thought he could do." Phew. The shade was loud but also rooted in facts. People see the difference between talking about building and actually building. And Melody? She's out here laying bricks and cementing her legacy in real time. Now, speaking of Martell, and you know we had to go there, word on the curb is that as soon as this announcement started trending, Martell Holt started acting real emotional on Instagram. You know how it goes. Subtle jabs, cryptic captions, and the oh-so-familiar nostalgic music clips meant to tug on heartstrings. One caption in particular had people raising their eyebrows. It read, "Sometimes what you let go of is what you needed most." And Chile, if that wasn't dripping with regret, I don't know what is. Sources close to the situation are whispering that Martell didn't see this coming at all. He allegedly thought Melody would quietly fade out of the spotlight after stepping away from filming with the original LAMH cast. But what he underestimated was the fact that Melody was never just the star of the show, she was also learning, absorbing, and preparing for her own moment to rise even higher. And now, here she is, building her own universe while Martell looks on from the sidelines. If that ain't poetic justice, I don't know what is. So let's dig into what the Child Care Cartel is actually about. Because this premise right here is groundbreaking. The show will follow the untold stories of female entrepreneurs in the childcare industry. And if you think childcare sounds soft, think again. Because from what insiders are already spilling, this show is filled with drama, ambition, and high stakes. We're talking scandals that threaten to shut businesses down, betrayals that shake friendships to the core, and cutthroat competition where every move could mean the difference between running a million-dollar empire or facing eviction notices. Some of these women are thriving, others are just trying to survive, but all of them have stories that are raw, real, and ready to be told. And Melody made sure the cameras captured everything. This isn't going to be some watered-down docuseries. No, This is reality TV at its finest, bold, unfiltered, and unapologetic. Now, there are whispers that OWN is trying to figure out a way to collaborate anyway, maybe distribute, maybe syndicate, maybe buy in after the fact. But fans aren't forgetting the way things went down before. They're side-eyeing the sudden interest, wondering why support wasn't louder when Melody was going through her toughest seasons. And that's what makes this moment even sweeter for her supporters. Because this isn't about clout. This isn't about fame. This is Melody building generational wealth, building a legacy, and rewriting her own narrative on her own terms. So here's the bottom line. Melody Shari didn't just bounce back. She didn't just return to TV. She rebranded her pain into profit, flipped the format of reality television, and turned her platform into a playground for ownership. The childcare cartel is bigger than a show. It's a movement. And if this is how she's starting her producer era, just imagine what's next. The glow-up we're seeing right now? This is only the beginning. So I want to hear from y'all. Do you think Melody's new show is going to change the reality TV game? Or do you think the industry will try to push back against her moves? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.